All right, one round left for today. We started with 92 or so teams, maybe a couple more. I may have misheard that, but it was 92 or 94 teams, 270, 280-ish players, and we're trying to cut down to 8 teams overnight. And we have one round left to see who's going to make it into the draft, who's going to make it into the elimination rounds. We have 2 win-and-ins. One is going to be on camera for you guys. Becky's here with me for this last round today. I think you'll agree she's doing a great job. And so if you were saying you felt a little nervous about the potential of being the one playing to decide the outcome for your team, how would you feel about winning this match and then being the one drafting for the outcome of your team?
Ooh,
how does that feel?
I mean, that would actually feel pretty good. I feel like drafts are usually like kind of my zen place, at least for like the first 2 packs. Then you get into the 3rd pack and all of a sudden everything hits the fan and I'm like, oh no, this is where it all starts to go bad. But for those first 2 packs, I would be feeling pretty good. Usually it's like a nice, just like calm, very different pace than like an actual match of Magic. It's just eventually you get to that 3rd pack and you're like, oh, finally all my decisions are catching up to me. Oh no, this is bad.
All right, well, first we're going to see who earns the right to go to this draft. So let's go ahead and move down to the table. We've got our modern match. We've got
Jund versus Jund.
Yeah, we have a Jund mirror, and you can see the teams. The team of Dan Becker, Jimmy Guo, and Jared Casserly is 5-1, playing against Chase Stalsberg, Sam Zakrzewski, and Jared Casserly, who are 4-0-2. Nope, I'm sorry, the names are changing. Players are flipping around. You know what? I shouldn't have done that yet. Anyway, once this gets sorted out, we're definitely playing for a top 8. All right, and the game has begun. We'll figure out the names later. All right, Inquisition of Kozilek. Looking at a 6-card hand. So there was a mulligan.
Yeah.
Dragon Rage Channeler, Tarmogoyf, another Dragon Rage Channeler, a Lightning Bolt. Those are the options. There was fewer options than I expected when I started reading.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Interesting that one-landers aren't too bad, especially when you have something like this Urza Saga as well, so probably not going to be the most detrimental thing for Jimmy Guo here, but certainly just going to take a Dragon Rage Channeler. Okay, interesting decision, but I imagine just trying to keep as much of your opponent off the board as possible so that once you get on the board, you're stronger, is got to be some percentage points in the Jund mirror.
Sure. I can also see merit to potentially choosing Lightning Bolt depending on what you have, and that's the only spell that can actually surveil with Dragon Rage Channeler at the moment, even though the turn order is likely to be Dragon Rage Channeler followed by Tarmogoyf, but we'll see. We never know what players might draw. They might change their outcome. Sam Zakrzewski so ends up on the left side. In fact, I think the whole team's switched. I think the teams were correct. They were just on the wrong side of the board.
Yeah.
But all right.
I do believe Guo should also be at 17 instead of 19, but I think we'll slowly catch up here.
Yeah. So Zakrzewski has the advantage of knowing what's in Jimmy Guo's hand. All he makes his decisions on what he wants to do, and he knows that there's an Urza Saga potentially coming, and there may or may not be a land to follow it up. And the Dragon Rage Channeler bites it.
I feel like we're seeing Sam be very respectful of these Dragon Rage Channelers, obviously taking both of them away from Jimmy here. I think it's an interesting play, especially when a Tarmogoyf is kind of just around the corner, as Sam knows as well, but potentially just a player who's played a lot more of this matchup knows which are the big important cards. And I guess, if you're going to go into a Liliana, which we weren't sure was in the hand of Sam, getting rid of everything on the board to make sure that this edict goes off smoothly is certainly a good play. The Lightning Bolt in the hand for Jimmy could mean that this Liliana is not long for this world.
So there was, I believe, the forest was drawn, or I'm sorry, not a forest, a Verdant Catacombs. But so that was Bolt Liliana, play Shadow Spear instead of make a token, which is interesting. And then another Inquisition for Jimmy Guo's last card in hand.
Oof.
Drawing a land this turn was pretty crucial, as otherwise, and it is another Lightning Bolt. So Jimmy Guo is empty-handed with the Urza Saga token coming, facing down the Tarmogoyf, and this already looks kind of rough. Now I know in these Jund Saga decks, the tokens from Urza Saga are not huge because there aren't that many artifacts.
Yeah.
I'm still a little surprised the choice was made to give up the token instead of to bolt a Liliana, which I don't necessarily know that I feel like matters all that much, but maybe it does. I mean, this is, these players likely have more experience playing the deck than I do. So, but it is something to consider, as the Liliana being on 1 isn't, a threat on its own. All right, so Urza Saga makes Construct, which is a 2/2 because of the Shadow Spear. And then we're tutoring.
This time we're getting a Metallurgic Summonings token. I love that we're just every single round we've had a different token to represent the Urza Saga token. It's been a fun journey to figure out which one it will be each time.
Well, players can represent their style in numerous ways. And we see Nile Spellbomb selected, so now the Tarmogoyf, a little potentially weaker. And another Urza Saga was the draw.
Oh, okay. Not the worst draw to come up.
So the Tarmogoyf is being boosted by the Liliana, which is only on one side. But it's still going to be fairly large, even if the Spellbomb goes off. And Jimmy Guo is already at 14.
Ooh, okay. That's a little bit of a beating.
Yeah, all right. So Liliana takes down Construct token. Tarmogoyf coming in for 6. Let's see, how many types are in Jimmy's graveyard? Land, Lightning Bolt, Tarmogoyf, Urza Saga, which is enchantment, right? So yeah, post Spellbomb, actually Spellbomb counts also. So post Spellbomb it would be 5.
It's not even taking that much away.
Yeah.
Right. And you can pretty clearly see here that Sam kind of going for an older style of Jund, still playing things like the Lilianas, and based on what we've seen from Jimmy's deck, playing things like these Urza Sagas, I imagine we're seeing something that is a little more Dragon's Rage Channeler, Ragavan based, and some lower curve cards.
Right. Yeah, I mean, well, you when I told you it was a Jund mirror, you said before we were before we were on mic, you said I hope it's like Jund Saga versus old school Jund, and you got your wish. That is, in fact, what we're seeing. Lurrus versus Liliana.
I personally was just like, Jund Mirror is not exactly my favorite thing to watch, but do like when we get to see a little bit of variation within the same kind of slot in the color pie.
Yeah, okay. So Tarmogoyf comes in again. Well, there are options here. I guess you could Spellbomb, or you can make a token. But if you Spellbomb, if Jimmy's
You're not changing the clock though.
And drawing your card doesn't do anything. So you wouldn't even you're right, you're not changing the clock and you're not drawing a card because you're gonna lose it as soon as the Liliana takes up. So what is wow. Jimmy just dropped to 2. Sam not slow rolling a sudden shock, it doesn't appear.
or a lightning bolt.
Well, that could work too.
I said something is making him pause a lot here.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to decide if the card is worth playing. Okay. Oh, okay.
All right, Assassin's Trophy on Urza Saga. Make a token.
Oh, and this time we're getting an unconstruct.
Jimmy will get himself a land and see if he can find the answer to this Tarmogoyf. So he gets a swamp. So perhaps we're going to cash in at the Spellbomb now that we get to keep our card. As Liliana is less of a problem right now than No, we don't. Whoa, we didn't use the bobble. I feel like we absolutely had to use the bobble there.
Yeah.
Okay, so what can we muster here?
Oh, yeah. Certainly a situation where if you draw a fast land with 3 lands already in play, you're probably feeling a little bit bad about not cracking that bauble, but at least this construct is going to gain us back some life, I believe.
Okay. That went way better than I expected.
Yeah.
The construct loads up a Shadow Spear, attacks for I think 4.
I think 4, which
And
will put us to 6.
no, it's
yeah.
5. It's 5.
Oh, it's 5?
It's 4 artifacts plus a Shadow Spear equip. It's 5.
Oh, true.
And,
okay, so we should be at 7.
And knocks out the Liliana. That, you know what? Jimmy Glow, that I underestimated that little token there. That was a good turn for you. Good job. And 1, 2, 3. Am I wrong? I think it's a 5/5 or a 5 power anyway.
Yeah.
See, and that explains.
No, I'm in agreement with you.
That explains that explains everything, really. So.
It's one of those things. It's like the caster curse thing. You say one thing, and there's just a little thing that a player caught that you didn't. And it happens every time. But we will be, looks like, trying to shrink this Tarmogoyf by 1 at least.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gonna go ahead and get it.
Maybe it was by 2 on himself, because it gets rid of the. I guess we lose the artifact and the enchantment by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like we'll go to 4/5 as a result. Oh.
All right. Well, that was Colin's command to take out the Shadow Spear and finish off Jimmy Guo, which is congratulations to Sam Zakrzewski for winning that game. But I was enjoying that game. I didn't necessarily want it to end right there.
Yeah. Certainly true. Okay. Yep. Going right into a match that we've seen kind of a lot today. Well, maybe not a lot, but Death and Taxes versus a lands strategy here. Certainly something that we've seen a few times.
Switching over to Legacy. If you're watching, go ahead and throw in the chat or tweet at us at Nerd Rage Gaming or the NRG series and let us know, this is our first time doing a team event. Do you like jumping into a different game and continuing on with live action, or would you rather see us come back to the booth, discuss the players' deck lists, things like we would normally do in an individual solo event? We don't really know. This is our first time doing this, and we've chosen today to just keep the action live as much as we can, but maybe that's not the preferable method. So if you have opinions, let us know. Anyway, continuing on here in Legacy. Jared
Casserly. Life from the Loam.
Jared Casserly playing lands. If it is a Life from the Loam, we need to pay more for it, as there is a Thalia Garden of Thraben on the other side.
Yep.
Okay, there you go. And it looked like we just picked up 3 land there. Was that not a Life from the Loam? What happened there?
No, it looked like it was the Secret Lair Life from the Loam, so that should have been what happened.
Okay. I guess I just saw it wrong. Anyway. Okay, so Urza Saga comes into play. There was also the option of dropping in the Caracas to get that Thalia off the board, but going with Urza Saga to get some token production started. As you can see, there's already 1 on the board. Facing down Death and Taxes deck, which hasn't really gotten too out of control yet, it doesn't look like.
It is interesting to have seen so many lands players kind of go for this aggressive token making strategy against a lot of these Death and Taxes decks. I feel like it's one of those things where sometimes I feel like maybe going for your main strategy is still so good, but I think I'm starting to pick up on the fact that a lot of these lands players have just decided that going for these tokens is just better because you don't have to worry about Caracas, don't have to worry about committing a lot of resources only to get Swords to Plowshare. So it is interesting to me to see how much these decks in this matchup has evolved over the last year and a half.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I do feel like, in a lot of matchups, I think you'd still be jamming Merit Lage, but in this matchup with Caracas, with Swords of Plowshares, Flicker Wisp, it's just tough. And instead of trying to protect Merit Lage, you just potentially have this alternate route that can work, even though it sometimes ends up as a slog. Sanctum Prelate comes down.
Ooh.
Interesting. You could be naming 1 or 2 realistically here, and it is 2 to shut off Life from the Loam. And that certainly going to put a damper on the plans for Jared Casserly.
Caracas of Jared's own is going to make it at least able to get rid of this Thalia Guardian of Thraben should we want to kind of have a bigger turn and not worry about that taxing effect.
So now I think the players are figuring out whether something was actually exiled by that Skyclave apparition, and should Jared have a token. And it looks like he does now, although perhaps... Oh, is there a 1 on there? Is that a 1-1? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I believe that's what that's trying to represent. Yeah, see, I told you, we're getting a different token every time. This time it's a card and a die.
Yeah. So the modern players are still shuffling, but when they finish up, I don't know, we'll kind of try and see if we can make an estimation of whether we want to continue here or go back, but we still have another minute to think about it. This is Caracas bouncing... Evan Gascoyne bouncing his own Thalia.
Huh. So surprised by that play that Joe dropped the mic.
Okay.
Welcome back.
So I don't know if you overheard me there or not.
No.
I was questioning the spelling of Mr. Gascoigne's first name, as there may in fact be an error on it on the overlay.
Oh, gotcha.
But let's see, what do we have going? What did I miss? Looks like a Batterskull came into... Was that a hardcast Batterskull? Okay.
Hardcast Batterskull.
Is that why the Thalia got bounced?
Yeah, I guess so.
The Batterskull could fit in underneath the without the Thalia attacks. That's cool.
That is cool. And I mean, we do have this Aether Vial stuck on too, so if Jared does kind of go for a play or even like potentially in an upkeep, we could bring this Thalia back into place for their turn. And an interesting decision and a kind of a cool play that we're getting to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm okay with staying here for now instead of going back to modern. Yeah, this game potentially could last a while, but...
Oh, give me this construct back. Looks like we're making that extra construct off of this Urza Saga before it is going to be sacrificed. And in response to that Urza Saga trigger, we will be having this Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, Aether Vial back into play.
And a Pyrite Spellbomb. Very cool, although the Taiga is tapped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder if that is potentially something we didn't mean to do, or was the correct thought process.
There's a Windswept Teeth in play. Maybe there's another Taiga in the deck. I really don't know.
Oh, there probably is.
Oh, there's also a Mox Diamond, so we have no concerns whatsoever.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, see, Jared putting the Pirate Spell on top of the Mox Diamond just to try and screw with us, probably. These players. All right, so just kind of taking a broad overlook at this game. What do we... I mean, both decks can really build and get going as the game goes on. Sanctum Prelate is hurting Jared's ability to do that by shutting off the Life from Loam, but there's an Exploration and a Jugabog. That's not too relevant against Death and Taxes, but...
Oh, that's going to be frustrating to deal with.
Yes, a zombie token with 7 unique land types. Field of the Dead, and that's one that is another way to continuously build advantage over time.
Yeah, that's actually...
Evan will have some... Yeah.
That's a cool card to include in this, and certainly good in this matchup, especially, as I mentioned, the evolution of this matchup, I feel like, has started to kind of go in favor of Death and Taxes, while Lance is just trying to keep up by using those Urza Sagas. But cool to see something like a Field of the Dead be put into this deck to kind of help out in these creature-based matchups. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to matter. And Evan will have answers to that. And Jared has an out to that answer by the Wasteland and then Life and Loam, but the Life and Loam's shut down as long as that Prelate's on the board. There is a Wasteland.
Yep. Oh. Jared doing a little bit of a head nod there, like, yeah, I kind of got to expect it.
Yeah, this board is beginning to get crowded. Batterskull comes in. It looks like it's unsure of itself, but it gets blocked by the token from... I don't remember where that came from. Is that the replacement Urza Saga token? If it is, then... Okay, so we're going for... trade here. There's 1, 2, 4 artifacts. Is this just going to be a blowout here? So we Swords of Pleasure is 1 token, and then the other one becomes a 3/3 and dies also. That's
Yeah, I
pretty
think
good.
so. That is pretty good. All right. You love to see it. You love to see when some of these cards just get to work so well together if you were this D&T player here, but looks like we're going to go ahead, get rid of this Sanctum Prelate so that we can get some things back, get some things rolling with this Life from the Limb, especially now that the Wasteland is in play for Evan, making sure that we're able to get some of those lands from our graveyard back into our hand and keep
Is
this
that
ball
that's a
rolling.
is that Maze of Ith? Did that not act? What happened there? Couldn't that Maze of Ith activate that turn? I don't think it did.
I don't think
Like
it did
like
either, and I
after the
think it
Swords,
could have.
yeah, after the Swords of Plowshares, that Maze of Ith could have sent back the Battered Skull and thus saved the second token. And I think that might have been. I mean, it was certainly possible I'm missing something, but that might have been an error.
Yeah, me frantically looking at the board for a pithing needle or something.
Yeah, I did the same. All right, so Thalia gets bounced by Caracas. So that Thalia has been bounced by both Caracas, which is not always, the case.
Yeah, not something you're used to seeing, but every once in a while.
Wasteland takes out Wasteland. Okay. 1, 2, 3. That's. So now, okay, so we're life loaming back, but we have exploration, so we can still make a token this turn.
We're just deciding what things to get back from the graveyard now. Thinking about that Urza Saga, but potentially something a little bit better. Debating between this Field of the Dead as well as a Wasteland.
When we just came to this match, did I question whether Life from Loam looked like it picked up 3 lands?
Yes.
I did, right? What in the...
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously it did. Life Alone picks up 3 lands. I don't know what I was talking about there, but apologies to the chat for I don't even know what I was talking about, but clearly
I thought you were like considering that like an extra card had ended up in the hand, or
yeah, I was, but that wouldn't make any sense, obviously, because Life Alone picks up 3 lands. Everyone on Earth knows that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, several people's relatives that were over for Thanksgiving know that, and they don't even know about how to play Magic. All right, so Jared Casserly overwhelms Evan and gives up, I think is what happened there.
Yeah.
It was just the I guess the sequential wastelands and then the exploration and the ability to keep Evan off of more than 2 planes going forward was going to be enough.
And I mean, making an onslaught of zombies certainly doesn't make it any easier as well. So that does mean that we are going back to our Jund versus Jund matchup where we are into the thick of it here. And Jimmy on our right side here, looking a little bit worse for wear at 9 life, but with nothing really on the board save for a Nile Spellbomb and this faux land in the form of Urza's Saga. Kind of making it look a little bit better.
Yeah, he's not facing down the Gigantor Tarmogoyf this time, so that's, an improvement compared to the last game.
Yeah.
And if these players do exhaust themselves, Jimmy's deck having Urza Sagas and, no longer has Urza Sagas, but having Lurrus might play a role in a game that goes long.
Mm-hmm.
Alpine Moon naming Urza Saga not only prevents Urza Saga from doing any of its things, it actually kills it because of the rule regarding
regarding the saga counters. Yeah. If a saga can't get any counters, it is sacrificed, and since it is no longer able to get counters, gets sacrificed.
Yeah.
I believe is the case. My wording could be wrong, but it's something along those lines.
Yeah, I would have if I was the one out of the two of us, if I was the one that tried to approximate that ruling, I would have basically said the same thing and gotten it more or less right with potentially some details wrong, which is perfect. Okay, Dash Ragavan comes in. I believe there's an Assassin's Trophy in hand. There it is. There it goes. Are there more basics? Yes,
aggressive.
Well, it's dangerous. It's scary. I mean, Jimmy has 3 land untapped plus the treasure coming. 4 cards. I mean, Zakrzewski has potentially even Blood-Red Elves in his deck since he's not playing Lurrus. That Ragavan could have found some unwelcome stuff.
Yeah, but now still with a ton of mana, and especially that extra mana gained off of that Assassin's Trophy, going to allow us to go ahead and play this Tarmogoyf, which is big, as we see Jimmy counting on his fingers there, seeing
He
that
might
there
not have enough
are.
fingers.
Yeah, I think you're running out at some point.
Yeah,
Yep, as
there
we
you
see,
go.
going to be a 6/7 big Lurgoyf on Jimmy's side of the board, ready to rumble.
All right, Mr. Zakrzewski, what do you have? Oh, is Jimmy even done? Sam is hoping Jimmy's done. Like, you have more? Because this Tarmogoyf's already large. I don't need you to have more stuff.
Yeah, and it looks like if I'm seeing what's in Sam's hand correctly, it looks to be 2 lands and Bloodbraid Elf, at least going to get a Wrenn and 6 here. So not the worst thing to be flipping over here, but still difficult to be looking down a 6/7.
Yeah, it's so. Oh no. Oh no. So Red and 6 came into play, and then Sam fetched, so we'd have a land to pick up. And if Jimmy has a lightning bolt, this Red and 6 is going to get killed before it actually activates.
Oh no.
That's what I said. Yeah. Well,
That
okay.
might be the case here too, but
if it's also abrupt
it's an
decay.
abrupt
Okay,
decay.
same
Okay,
thing.
so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Okay.
No, it still matters. Because if the fetch had happened first, then the Red 6 comes to play and immediately activates. Yeah, so this is yeah, I mean, I have been burned by this in the past also, and it's just something that you get used to and then you don't do it anymore. But yeah, the planeswalkers, you want to have them in scenarios where they can activate immediately. Otherwise, in a situation like this, you can get nothing out of them. Now, is the cost of 1 land really going to impact Sam Zakrzewski? Probably not, but it was a free card that he no longer has.
Yeah. And free card, any amount of free cards are going to help you out a lot when you're staring down a 6/7. But luckily, Jimmy being stuck at 6 life is going to be the way to keep this Lurgoyf at bay. And another one coming down for the side of Sam, and their power and toughnesses will match each other, but not match so well in combat.
Yeah. So yeah, the way it turns out, that abrupt decay being burned off on the Wrenn and 6 cleared the way for this Tarmogoyf. So accidentally, or maybe with a stroke of genius, Sam Zakrzewski has baited that abrupt decay and now has a Tarmogoyf. It still doesn't feel comfortable attacking, which suggests that maybe the life total. Well, we'll see. Wrenn and 6 is the draw there. If the life totals are accurate, I feel like, okay, this is cool. Yeah. Bang. Tarmogoyf, you're out of here.
Oh. But do we have a way to remove Tarmogoyf? Okay, so both Tarmogoyfs will go down in the fire.
All right. Well, Jimmy Guo still alive. It looks like he has an Urza Saga in hand, but that Urza Saga negated by the Alpine Moon and is going to need something else.
Mm-hmm.
Or is going to get wiped out.
6 life, so we do live through one more turn here, borrowing something else from Sam's hand. Is going to go ahead and get back. I believe that's a Bloodstained Mire. The expeditions always fumble me a little bit.
I believe you're right. Okay, Lightning Bolt takes out Bloodbraid Elf. And the game continues on, even except for one minor detail of a Wrenn and 6 on one side, which kind of matters.
It does, in fact, matter here. Those free cards do accrue quite nicely, but trying to keep us in this game, a Dragon Rage Channeler for the side of Jimmy Guo.
Well, that is excellent. Currently not opposed by anything, and cannot one-shot the Wrenn and 6, but could either take chunks out of Sam's life total or try and delete some of the Wrenn and 6's power. I don't know. That's maybe a difficult choice. Jimmy at 6 life is not, I imagine, feeling very comfortable here, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even it's hard, especially if you are now having this Dragon Rage Channeler that has to attack, is not ever going to play the role of a blocker. I don't know if we have Delirium, but I'm just taking a wild guess by the sheer amount of cards that are in Jimmy's graveyard. So
it seems like a virtual certainty.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's at least Wrenn and 6, Tarmogoyf, Lightning Bolt, and it's a moot point as Dragon Rage Channeler goes down to a Lightning Bolt, and Wrenn and 6 just ticks up, pick up a land, and Fast
And
turn.
Sam on this Boomer Jund sort of list is kind of playing a control game, taking care of all of the little creatures that Jimmy is trying to commit to this board. And so far, it is working pretty well as Sam is sitting in a pretty commanding position, though still not with a way to really close out this game.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as his Ren 6 is alive, he doesn't need a way to close it out, as Retrace usually does a pretty good job of that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Bloodbraid Elf? Yes, it was.
Oof, that could potentially just...
Just lying very carefully. Is there a Raging Ravine in play? There's being very careful with the lands. No? Okay.
Yeah,
We're just
I
making
don't
sure
think
we
so.
have the most available left over.
Oh, yeah. A big Tarmogoyf is certainly going to make it even more difficult for Jimmy to stay in this game, as Jimmy now drops to 3.
Is it there? Is it there? No, it's not. Okay. Sam Zakrzewski wins the John semi-mirror to take down the modern match for his team. Let's see how the Legacy boys are doing. Well, we are certainly set up on the land side of things.
Oh.
And Death in Texas has 1 land in play? How did this happen?
1 land in play indeed. Looks like we do see a Wasteland and a Horizon Canopy in the yard, I believe.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that one under Horizon Canopy, but...
There's about 9 cards in the graveyard of the lands deck, so clearly the total resources available this game has been vastly different. Battlefield Exploration and Actual Exploration in play, allowing all kinds of nonsense for Jared Casserly. And another Valakut Exploration, okay.
Is this a Cauldron Complete?
I don't know, but it better be something. You're talking about the one in play? Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant
I know, it's okay.
Going up the top. Yeah.
I can't, I'm going just on art because I can't see well enough to read a lot of the cards.
You got to look at the length of the words. Even if you can't read the words, look at the length of the words. That's how I figured out the Sword of Fire and Ice earlier. And yeah,
okay.
Complete seems reasonable there.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Oh, yep, there's the art. Is in fact Cauldron Complete. And
there's that maze.
Yeah, Cauldron Complete's mortal nemesis in Maze of Ith.
Yeah, no kidding. In Modern, it's Teferi Time Raveler to just bounce it and get it out of the way, and here is Maze of Ith.
Ooh. All right. Looks like
a trio of sagas. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of sagas. Also, the Thespian stage doing its best impression there as well. But slowly but surely, just getting more and more constructs and using this Maze of Ith to stave off anything that this Cauldron Complete could try to do. Can we get Valakut Exploration, actually? That's that card, yes? Or Valakut Eruption?
No, it's... well, I knew what the card was. Now you confused me. It's Valakut Exploration, I'm pretty sure. Which is triggers off of land drops. And I believe allows you to
flip over the top card of your library.
Yeah. Yep. And then you can play the cards off the top, and if you don't play them, then they shoot the opponent.
That's actually kind of a spicy inclusion in this deck. I kind of like that.
Well, if you have triggering more than once a turn, it's a pretty sweet deal.
Oh, all right. Is in fact, with 2 explorations in play, getting to make many land drops on these turns.
Yeah.
And why not? Why not have a 3rd exploration as a treat? We'll make 4 land drops a turn. Why don't we? Ooh, and that Field of the Dead, which was what kind of spelled victory for Jared Casserly in this first match, is going to be flipped over by this Valakut Exploration. And I imagine if it was, but we've played too many lands this turn, so we can't. I don't think.
We used land drops already.
It's okay. We put a Life from the Loam in the yard too. We can just get it back next turn. All is well. All is well. We can get the Field of the Dead back, barring something coming and murdering our graveyard this turn.
That's true. Well, and we'll be fine. And Evan's got this Batter Skull, so he's gonna be good.
I think we have different definitions of good, but
okay. I mean, Jared does have more stuff.
Yes.
And that's
a lot more stuff.
Yeah, slightly. I mean, all right.
You're right. Only one Mazavith, so we can only choose to Mazavith either Cauldron Complete or Batter Skull. So.
Well, yeah, and although probably how big are these tokens? They're only 4s right now, but they can gain some from others, and then probably. I mean, the last time a 4/4 construct tried to trade the Batter Skull didn't go very well, but I think.
Very true.
I think this means that
Lands won.
I think this means that Chase Stalsberg won the limited match.
Oh, okay.
Are packing it up.
I don't think that Evan was in a great spot to go through this game, regardless. But
I don't think Jared was in a spot where he was going to concede there. So I believe that is likely to be what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep, does look like with that little pip down there, Chase was the one with a blue-white deck, saving Evan here, who was not in the best place against a lands.
So the team up. No, this has.
I think we're just switching to a different view here. Okay.
Post match, I think they're done.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So the team of Stalsberg, Zakrzewski, and Gascoyne. It's pretty impressive. I remembered all 3 of those names, but they're not on the screen anymore. Are okay. What? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the limited match was decided, and so the team of Stalsberg, Zakrzewski, and Gascoyne are going to advance to the top 8. Now,
it is impressive that you remembered all those names.
Hey, I'm getting better. The first few times doing this, there was a name on the screen, and then we, went to the sideboard, and I couldn't even remember the player's name anymore. But we're getting better. Okay, that is going to conclude the Swiss matches. Do we have a top 8 listing?
You want to show us? Are we waiting? Do we have to do a little chit chat while we wait to see a top 8?
Do we have a list of the top 8 teams right now? No. Okay.
Please. No. Okay.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So we don't have a bracket prepared with 24 players' names for top 8 because we can't actually put it up, because even if they put it together, because there's still teams playing, and we
Oh, okay.
Here's what you do. If you type !standings in the chat, that should give you the actual standings. You can look at the current ones, or potentially in a few minutes when it's actually final, and you can see it for yourself. But we can't we can't put it up because it's not prepared. I'm not sure we can put it up even if it was, which is probably why it's not prepared. Anyway, to wrapping all that up, the top 8 draft will take place sometime in the next half hour once the round is actually over, because while our feature match is done, so we know that team's going to make the top 8. The rest of the whole round isn't over yet, so that's not ready to go yet. But what's going to happen is the limited players are going to draft, and then tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Time, so early if you're in the West Coast, nice afternoon, evening if you're in Germany, we're going to start the elimination rounds, which will be Modern, Legacy, just like you've been watching today, and then with Draft replacing the Sealed. That's going to start tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. Those players are going to play out the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. Simultaneously, the Modern 5K is going to begin at 10 a.m. And so sometime in the middle of the day, once the team event is over, we'll resume coverage of the Modern 5K and take that to the end of the event. So we should be on all day tomorrow. It'll be a longer day than today. We had 7 rounds for you today. There should be 10 tomorrow, assuming that Modern attendance ends up approximately what we're expecting. So you can tune in tomorrow morning. Shane Downey will be here to take us through the top 8 as well as the first couple of rounds of Modern. And then she did such a good job. We're going to invite her back. Beky's going to be here tomorrow afternoon and take us through.
You're too nice.
So I probably am. I'm sure you're worthy at least half of the nice things I say about you.
I like to think so.
Yeah, you should. You're tremendous. Okay, so anyway, that's going to wrap up the coverage for today. Thank you for joining us here at Nerd Rage Gaming. We'll be back pretty early tomorrow morning, so don't miss that if you want to see the top 8 play out. Thanks for being here. We'll see you in the morning.